here. And this shouldn't take very long. So just let me share what I've put together. Okay, so I just thought I'd start off by that famous question. So, what is what is your why? Why are we doing near life? Why are we attended today? And what do we hope to get out of it? Only you can answer that question. And so that's why I just put it up to remind us, ask yourself, what is your why? Okay, and then the next thing is, what type of incentives would you like? Um, what will incentivize you, motivate you, or encourage you to do something? Um, and then I was just thinking of, so one, it's come up here with a message here, something.
That it's from me. I've just discovered it was my problem, the audio thing.
Ah,
I fixed it.
okay. Oh, so you can hear me now.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
so,
good. I was getting worried
yeah,
because sometimes when I'm not too sure of myself, I speak softly. Anyway, so one
yeah.
is, do you like a surprise incentive? So I just think of that happened once in my life when I first started working. And all of a sudden, I've been working for about 9 months and I got like 150% bonus, which I think was a total sum of about 350 Rand. But that was a huge amount of money for me at that time. Or two, do you need to know what the incentives are? And then that motivates you. Um, so Neolife tries to um, publish what the incentives are. So if you just go to the back office and you type incentives, you see all these incentives here. So the question is, you see that one vacation to Egypt, you know what you have to do that, and we've got quite a long way to go to do that. So it's unlikely that that's going to incentivize us in the short term. And then these are the cash incentives that you get by stepping up as a manager or a senior manager or executive. So that's on the back office. And probably this is the most important one right now. So it's all about 3 and 30. So it's about going out, talking to people, and recruiting them. And what Neolife is doing at the moment is they're incentivizing you if you do get a 3 and 30 and you get some PV credits. I know I was phoned this week and said that there's a PV credit in the back office there. And please, next time you put in an order, make sure that you tell them that you want to use that incentive to do that. So this is real. So it then means that when you buy a product, you don't have to pay with your hard-earned cash. The company is actually giving you something. And then the most important thing is whatever you do, just to be um, consistent. So this is for the Emerald. Now I'll just go through the other ones just to make you aware that they exist. So this one here is if you're consistently an Emerald director, then you get 1,300. And if you're in the world team, you get another incentive. And then here's for the president team. They seem to get big money here. So the company tries to set these incentives. And it's about recruiting people, obviously them using products. And this is a step-up bonus. So here's a step-up bonus when you go from one rank to the other. And then there's a director. And then, of course, if you get to the top, the leadership bonus. And then the last one here is a vacation to Egypt, which they do different places over the years. So for me, the incentives is about um, what is it that motivates you? And when you get up in the morning, how do you motivate yourself to do whatever you have to do, not to get too caught up with it? So I'm going to stop sharing, and I suppose, is there anybody else wants to add anything more to that? Any ideas? I'd love to know what other people, what incentivizes other people to do whatever they have to do while they show up.
Can I ask, why did you get that um, what was that incentive thing from back office? What did you do that you weren't
Oh,
aware of? How did that happen?
hang on, let me share again. Yeah, I had that screenshot there. There. Yeah, so in the back office here, I just typed in incentives. Then these ones came up. So Neil publishes what they intend to do and what they have to do. And these incentives are above the normal marketing plan. That's always the thing that you have to understand. And obviously, the amounts that they pay out and so on vary from year to year. So that's why they publish it every year and they've got a date against it. So yeah, so that's what the company does, and that's how they try and do it. But the whole thing is, yeah, how do you communicate with people, and then how do people say, right, I'm going to go for that incentive? Um, certainly for me, for the last um, couple of years that I've been working, the incentive, plain and simple, has been the paycheck at the end of the month, that you keep on getting, and also that I enjoy doing it. So I think um, you have to make it a joyful experience, and also that I mean, sometimes people like to talk about lifestyle things that they would like, and that's going to incentivize people. For me, it's just about trying to accumulate some money that you can then um, generate an income from. And for me, that's a sort of simple thing that incentivizes me. But so there, well, Meryl, do you want to share what incentivizes you?
I think much of what you said is relevant for me too. Is that you just got to pay the bills at the end of the month.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's definitely the money, and also once you've done it, then it does give you a sense of achievement. But yeah, just keep your head above water.
yeah. And I think, despite the you said the Reserve banker sort of say, no, the inflation is only 3%, and they're supposed to target it at 3%. We all know that that's not always true. So we're always aware that we're always playing catch up. Just as when um, we think we've got our heads around whatever budget we've got, then things change. Sometimes they change. Normally they change very slowly, but then all of a sudden, wow, no, these things are getting out of hand. So for me, it's about just a way to generate an income. But I think also this type of um, way of generating income requires a huge amount of subconscious thought. I think that would be the word. And it's the whole thing of driving these subconscious thoughts to your consciousness. And once you're able to do that, then you can step out of yourself. And that's a hard thing that I've always battled with. some things that I do that the subconscious and the conscious come together. And when that happens, if it like comes to solving a problem, sometimes these things take a bit of time. And then all of a sudden the consciousness and the subconscious and the consciousness come together. And then, all of a sudden things happen just like that. And for me, that's the hardest thing to get together, to get yourself around these challenges. Okay, well, that's about all I'm going to say today.
Can I just chip in here? I think that that saying success breeds success. So I think once one has had a measure of success achieving what you want to do, it makes it easier for the next time. But it's that first step that I find is always the hardest. I don't know if anybody else has that. And for me, I really battle with recruiting and things like that. So for me, it's easier to sell product than it is to recruit as such.
Yeah.
But,
well,
that's just my little thing.
I've also been reading a book called Path of the Lion that Monica said, hey, you must read this. And I haven't been reading it at great haste. But one thing that we don't, that one has to be aware of is that there's a selling process and there's also a marketing process. And yeah, all I would do is just encourage you to go and have a look and define for yourself what a selling process is and what a marketing process is. So the selling process is really where you have to go out and tell people about your product. Where the marketing process is one of where you advertise what you're selling and people approach you. And that's really where we would like to be. And then, so if you would like to be there, because then people are just simply going to be approaching us, then you've got to bear in mind that if people approach you, or you're always going to be in a good state to help them with whatever they want.
Just going back, Rob, to that Google Ads. Was it Google Ads that you were going to learn how to do?
Yeah.
Have you made any progress there? Because that sounds very interesting. It almost sounds like, even if you're just gaining a few retail customers, that's fine. I'm happy with that.
Yeah. So when you do that, then you're marketing. So so it's about marketing. So it's about how you're going to go about marketing. And then as soon as you get into marketing, it's not something that you can just sit on your couch all day and do. Just as much as selling is not something that you can just sit on your couch all day and do. So you have to come up with a plan. So long time ago, I studied marketing in some course or other that I did. And with marketing, I always talk about the 4 Ps, which is price, product, placement, and packaging. So there's 4 Ps. But it's about getting a message out there and that people approach you. And I mean, probably this last week, I've had about 3 or 4 spam calls where people are trying to push a particular product or whatever. And we are aware of these sort of things. Sometimes we play along, sometimes we don't. So it's really a case of, how do we market ourselves without pushing ourselves onto people? But then when people approach us, how are we going to help them? And I think that's the bottom line. As long as you're providing a service, people will approach you. Yeah, and certainly, if you just do a bit of Googling of Googling ads. There's a couple of videos out there, so you just have to do them and try and understand the model that they use. And the trouble is, the big issue is always with any of these sort of things. As soon as you understand one model, it changes. So that's normal. even even sometimes when I do the IT stuff and you're programming something and someone changes something because of some security issue, and then, oh, that used to work like that. It doesn't work like that anymore, but it must work. So we have to change direction. Okay, so I think that's me done.